So the MX Master produced by Logitech, more accurately the versions we are taking a look at today are the Logitech MX Master 3 and some light comparison as the predecessor to the, in my case, much appreciated and utilized Logitech MX Master 2S. Not necessarily the best option, but approaching on a very finely refined item that has a lot of flexibility. It's not to say it is not with some pitfalls, at least associated with the current version of the MX Master 3 mouse, and today we are going to dissect some of these, not all necessarily complete bad or game changer moments, but perhaps food for thought and consideration that may influence your choice of current mouse for your next setup. Before getting further into the MX Master's functionality testing, some obvious differences right off the bat are that the packaging that Logitech has taken pressing forward with the newer reiteration of the MX Master is that of a step backwards, where once you could have an almost in-store unboxing experience with a doorway leading you to a plastic-shielded MX Master 2S even with a magnetic latch, the MX Master 3 falls short here, where it's your more typical box within an outer shell of advertising that has to be precariously removed via pushing the box out after breaking the seals on both sides. Nothing too flashy here for the box junkies out there, but also not a complete letdown in this case, pardon the pun, as it's not just plain cardboard like some of Logitech's other items such as the Brio 4K webcam, but more importantly it seems like Logitech has emphasized all potential selling points, as they should, adequately enough in conveying, if buying of the shelf, a product that may be of some use and additional functionality that other mice currently do not allow. For competitively speaking, of course. Ergonomically speaking, the Master 3 as opposed to the 2S is a slight improvement of its predecessor, as the side scroll wheel is much easier to utilize effectively, while the buttons that were, although stylish, in appearance on 2S, side left 2 buttons, they are much more adequately positioned for effective use rougher than an option that is very difficult to use on the fly and as part of someone's effective workflow, and pardon this last pun, as now it leads us into Logitech Flow itself and how the two are currently differentiating each other, while discussing any improvements overall in this subject. Some issues that I was personally experiencing with regarding the utilization of the MX Master 2S and Flow, in this case the software, Flow, was that the mouse, if utilized on both desktops through the Flow software, and then if shut down was to occur on one PC, the other PC would find itself without a mouse, even if, say for example, using both Bluetooth and the provided wireless 2.4 GHz dongle per computers. Currently the newer MX Master 3 is on charge, and we'll test whether any of the software flaws experienced have been remedied with this, as having the ability to use one mouse for multiple computers effectively through Flow is circumnavigated. If you then need to have another mouse connected to the last PC, that needs to be shut down as well. So to the technical mambo jumbo, hey. Well, the newer MX Master 3 is 141 grams without the cable, which is lighter than the older 2S by 8 grams. That for some people may be in turn a slight adjustment, as it's literally a large weight plate when it comes to some other mice that have the option of additional weights. Both mice are only suited for right-handers, while both come with a Logitech unifying receiver and Bluetooth capabilities, while also providing a power charge cord that is, in the case of the older Master 2S, a USB to micro USB connection, as opposed to the grateful upgrade of the newer variant with USB to USB-C connectivity, while also having a cable length of 4.4 feet, 1.34 meters, rougher than only 4 feet, 1.22 meters, that came with the older variant of MX Master 2S mouse, so some slight upgrades here also if this tickles anyone's fancy. Polling rate differentials from 125 Hz as opposed to 90 Hz means that the refresh rate of the flow of the mouse is considerably lower. If inclined to game or gaming in general, as an example, one would look at 500 Hz minimum, especially pertaining to such genres like first-person shooters. 90 Hz either way is a step down in the wrong direction for what is the newer version of the MX Master. The gliding experience is okay on the revised newer MX Master 3 as opposed to good on the older variant due to some cutting down of the mouse feet, contact pads on the newer variant, again a step down. Bringing us to the sensor specifications, where the laser sensor has not been changed from the previous version. In turn, the MX Master 3 is retaining the dark field sensor model on both variants. The mice work on glass also while having minimum DPI of 200 each and maximum of 4000, so to anyone other than a gamer the fluidity that results from a lower polling rate may not even be noticed. But when considering this step down, one has to then accordingly have to adjust the value of the mice in one's eyes. Planning the upgrade. Expect similar results to the previous model mouse, although the polling rate is a definitive note when considering above differences in between both models. In summoning up, both mice have total number of 8 buttons to each mouse, with 3 side buttons and 6 programmable buttons, but no profile switching button capabilities on either variant here. In turn, one must address that even though both mice are of sound and decent quality, the MX Master 3 on the whole maintains itself true to form. And although having some minor cosmetic upgrades and USB-C connectivity, one must still address the elephant in the room here, not being that polling rate is significantly down 125 to 90 now, but in the fact that the price paid by myself only a year ago was final pricing and current. If inclined to purchase, getting your hands on a MX Master 2S can still be picked up for as little as $79 Australian dollars, and was so by myself a year ago, while the newer MX Master 3, if factoring in the changes to the mouse itself, the final price will set you back now $139 to $159 Australian dollars. That is considerable, and what seems an aggressive rise in price for what is essentially the same mouse. Hope this helps everyone out there make a final decision on whether you would like to purchase or even upgrade to the MX Master 3 from 2S, and whether this is worth pending thoughts outlined in previous. While one more skeleton in the box remains, and this is of the fact that my MX Master 2S is currently rendered useless if connecting via the unifying receiver, as the receiver in the mouse itself has failed and unfortunately out from the 1-year hardware warranty period provided by Logitech. Hence why my choice, regardless of differences, was to still purchase the MX Master 3, as I do enjoy using the mouse at not great value but still decent. Optimum PC performance.